Hello and welcome. Now, when you first get to your WordPress site, it's going to look something like this depending on what version that you have. And there are going to be some things that you want to do right from the start. You'll notice that our WordPress is in a directory, testwp direct. And the first thing we're going to do is log in. Now, you can log in either from the left side menu, but you don't want to always keep this left side menu there. And so what you're going to want to do is learn how to log in as if you did not have a menu here. So what you do is to go to the end of your directory, you type in WP, and then you type in a dash, and then you type in ADIMN, and then hit enter. That's actually going to bring you to a login screen. And when you get to that login screen, you're going to want to type in your login username, and then you're going to want to write in a password. Now, I'm going to do that right now. If you remember, that is the username that we created. That's the password that we created. You can click Remember Me, and then you're going to click Login. That's what we're going to do right now. Once we do that, of course, we will be inside of the WordPress dashboard. Now, routinely, when you get to the inside for the first time, you're going to see a couple of things that you are going to be familiar with in some cases, and in other cases, it may be new to you. One of the first things you'll see is whether or not your version of WordPress needs to be updated. Now, you are going to want to do these updates because this is what keeps your WordPress from being hacked. Typically, if there is a security vulnerability, there is an update, and you'll typically want to take care of this unless there is some compelling reason why you do not want to do it. So if you see an update, go ahead and click the Update Now. You're going to see a screen that looks like this, and then you're just going to want to update your WordPress. WordPress will typically go through a process, and it will tell you, welcome to the new WordPress, and it'll tell you that WordPress has been updated successfully. And you'll see a new version of WordPress in most cases. Now, one of the other things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stop some of the spam that's going to come into your site. One of the things that a potential hacker might look for are things that tend to be in the websites of people who just start out in WordPress and they don't take care of them at the beginning. So we're going to take care of those things right now. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to go to the post area, and you're going to click All Posts. And you're going to see a post there that's called Hello World. You'll then want to go and click Trash for that post. Then you'll want to go to your trash area at that link. You'll want to click the box, and then you'll want to hover over Hello World and then delete it permanently. Then you'll want to go to the Pages area and do the same thing. You're going to see a sample page. You're going to click that button. You're going to click Trash. Then you're going to go into your trash. And then you're going to delete that page permanently. Now you'll then go to the comments area. And if there are no comments, then you are going to be in good shape. If there are, you're going to want to delete those comments. But typically, if we have deleted the post and the pages, we won't have comments. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look in this left side menu. And one of the things that we'll talk about in a later video is that WordPress will give you notifications. And when a potential plugin needs to be updated, WordPress will give you this notification. You're going to go to that Install Plugin area. And then you're going to give that plugin an update. So you'll want to go to the Update Now area. And then that will update the plugin. Now, whenever you get to this area, again, one of the things that you're going to see right away is a plugin that's going to be in every installation. Hello Dolly is typically a plugin you're not going to need, and so you're going to want to go ahead and delete that plugin. You'll click Delete Files, and then your plugin will be ready. Now there's one more thing that we're going to want to do in order to get our WordPress to ground zero, and that is to go to the Install Plugins area. And then we're going to want to activate our Akismet. So we're going to go to this plugin and we're going to click activate. And if you already have an Akismet account, then you're going to want to activate that Akismet account. If you don't have one, you're going to want to set one up. So we're going to click activate your Akismet account. Now, if you have ever installed WordPress before, you already have an API key. If you have not installed WordPress before, you're going to want to go get an API key by going through this process. Now, we're going to go ahead and put in our API key, that we already have one, and then we're going to click use this key. Now, once your key has been entered, Akismet will tell you it's now activated and you are now ready to start working with your WordPress site. When you log into the dashboard, in particular, you're going to notice that at the top right hand corner, you're going to notice that you have your profile icon. And when you hover over that icon, you're going to see that you have your username and you have a place where you can edit your profile. So we're going to start the process right there by going to the edit my profile area. Now, one of the things that you're going to see right away is that you're going to have the ability to disable the visual editor, and that means the WYSIWYG or the what you see is what you get editor. You typically are going to want to keep that there unless you know HTML very well. You can actually change the look of the color scheme of the inside of your WordPress site, and you can do that by clicking any one of these buttons. And this is really just more of a preference, and you'll see the colors are changing on the side there. You can also enable keyboard shortcuts, and once again, this is something that's optional. You don't have to do it, and all it does is it helps you to be more efficient when you're working with WordPress. Now, the toolbar is what you'll see here at the top, so you can actually have it so that your toolbar doesn't show up when you enter the site, and you can actually click that or leave it checked. Now, in the name area, you'll notice that your username can't be changed, but you can add a first name and a last name for your login and for your site. Your nickname is required, and then you can decide on how your nickname is going to be displayed publicly. And if you want to change how it's going to be displayed publicly, what you can do is you can click this drop down menu and you're going to see some names there. You can also write in some. And you can actually, when you save it, you're going to have that as an option available to you here. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop this and we're going to save, update our profile. Then we're going to come back to this area where it says display the name publicly. And you're going to notice that we can actually have that as our display name, the one that we put there as a nickname. This email is going to be the one where all of our notifications about our site are going to come. This website is one that you can change, and wherever you want your username to be associated with a specific website, you can put it there. You can put whatever website there that you want to have there. Now, in this area, you're going to be able to put some biographical information about yourself, and this is going to matter when you actually update what's called your gravatar, which we're going to show you here in a minute. And this information will appear every place that you log in with this username around the internet. Now, you can actually generate a new password that's going to have several different kinds of elements in it that'll make it hard for you to have someone guess it. But in most cases, you're going to want to leave it to something that you can get into readily. Okay, so once you've updated all that information, you're going to want to click Update Profile. And then your profile will then be ready for you to use however you'd like to have it as you use your WordPress website. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I'll see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to go over our settings menu. And one of the first things we're going to do is to go to the left side menu, and then we're going to click the settings link. That's going to reveal to us all of the areas in the settings that we can actually change, and we're going to go through this right now. Now, the first area that you're going to click is going to be the general settings. And you're going to be able to make some changes here, but for the most part, you're going to leave most of it the same. Now you can give your site a title, and in this case, we've called this site test directory, and that really came from the installation. We could call this whatever we want. Now when your site appears on the search engine, you'll notice that this site title will eventually be the one that will show for your site. So you want to pick this general setting carefully and make sure it's something that you want to reflect in terms of your business. Now you'll also have the ability to write in a tagline. You'll be able to communicate what the site is about. So you want to, again, be mindful of what you want people to know about your site. Okay, so then your tagline is set up. Your WordPress address, in most cases, these two addresses will pretty much be the same. This is where you want customers to actually come when they come to your website and how you want it to be recognized. You'll have an email address, which is for your administration and for logging in and for your notifications. For membership, this will allow people to register on your site if you give them the address. Now, you will have to designate whether or not anyone can sign up to your site. And the only way that they'll be able to do that at will, whenever they want to, regardless of whether or not you give them a link, is by you making that available by saying anyone can register. If you leave this unchecked, that means that no one can register without you giving them permission or without them getting the link. Now, when someone actually does register, automatically or otherwise, then you will give them a default role. And you'll see several of them here. And I'm going to go through the drop-down menu, and you'll notice that you have subscribers, contributors, authors, editors, and administrators. Obviously, an administrator can make all the changes that you can make. A subscriber can make none of those changes, and all of these other roles can make changes in between. In terms of the time zone, you'll want to change the time zone to be the one that reflects yours. And you're going to have to do that according to the universal time code. So if you want to find out what the universal time code is for your city, all you'll need to do is to go to Google. I'm going to do that right now. If you type in to Google UTC code for your city, typically you'll get a search result that you'll be able to go to and make the conversion. In this particular case, if we were in New York City, we would be able to find out that our UTC is going to be -4. So all we'd have to do is go to -4 inside of WordPress. Once we do that, we can pick a format that we want to have for our dates. And this is going to appear in our post. We can either leave the default settings or we can change them. We can change the time as we want it to appear on our posts. And then we can determine when we want our weeks to start in terms of how WordPress calculates them. You can start either on Sunday or Monday. And once you've done those things, you can actually hit changes. And you will have customized your WordPress general settings. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the writing link. And when you go to that link, you're going to notice a couple of settings here. You can actually convert emoticons into graphics when they're on your display. And again, that is going to be optional. You don't have to do that. And these other settings are truly optional. You can set a default post category, and we'll talk a little bit more about categories in another video. But you can make it so that every post that you start with will automatically go to your favorite WordPress category. You can automatically set so that WordPress will automatically post in a specific format. And all of these formats are, once again, going to be optional. You can leave it as uncategorized and standard because you can always change your post category and your format when you're actually doing the post. And that is actually what we recommend that you do. One thing that WordPress will allow you to do is to post with an email. That would mean that you would send an email to an address that WordPress indicates, and then you would then have that appear in your WordPress blog as a post. This is an advanced concept, but one that you'll want to do by setting up your mail server, giving yourself a login name and password, and then setting a default category for your post to go through. Now, WordPress will allow you to set certain services so that these services will be automatically notified when you actually post to your site. and they will notify these services to give you more exposure, to give you more backlinks, and to give you more opportunities to have other people see your post. So once you've updated the categories that you want inside the writing settings, you can click Save Changes. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be going over the settings menu, and we're going to go first to the reading tab, which is the next tab down. And you're going to notice that in the reading settings, we can actually dictate how many blog posts are going to show on a particular page. So we can dictate and we can say we want to have less or fewer posts, or we can have more posts. And this is so you can actually start to see how your post is going to look. And the reality is that each theme that you put on your WordPress site is going to change the nature of it. And so you are going to come back to these settings over and over again whenever you add a new theme or whenever you add a new plugin. The same thing is going to be true for the syndication feeds, and typically you're going to want to keep this equal. So syndication feeds show the most recent 10 items. So when your WordPress site is feeding into an RSS feed, you want that RSS feed to show the last 10 items that you have posted. You might want to start showing less or more depending on how frequently you update your site. But again, this is going to change over time as you start to do more and more with your site. Now inside of an RSS feed, you can actually dictate how much the reader is going to be able to see. If you want them to have a summary so that they have to come back to your site to read the rest, you can click summary. If you want them to read the whole thing so that they might be interested in more of what you have to say, you'll click full text. And again, this is going to vary depending on what your business model is. Now this button is going to be very important because you don't want to make your site visible to the search engines until it's ready to go live. And so you can discourage search engines from indexing the site so that people can find it by search, but you can also encourage them. So one of the things that you can do when you first start your site is to click this button. And then this will discourage search engines from actually showing your pages on Google and Bing and all the other search engines until you untick this button and make it ready. So once we've done that, we can click Save Changes. And we can go on to the Discussion tab. The Discussion tab is really for those things that occur on your site where you are interacting with other people who are coming to the site. Therefore, you'll see here that you have default article settings and comment settings. And you will be able to determine what you want to do based on how your interaction will be with your customers and with your site visitors. And again, all of these things are going to vary every time you do a new theme or you change something about your site or you change the way you're going to be doing business. All these things are going to be fairly straightforward, so we're not going to go through these in detail, but you will want to change them every time you make a major change with your site. Now lastly, we're going to go to the Media tab, and you're going to notice that we can control how WordPress displays the images or the media that we're going to be uploading to our site to be used in our posts and our pages. And these are going to be dictated by pixel size, whether you're talking about medium or large, and all of these are going to give us options when we're actually writing in our posts and in our pages. Now one thing that WordPress will do is it'll organize all of your images in folders based on the month and date when you uploaded them. And this is going to make it easy for you to be able to go and find them if you need them or if you have to go back and get them for some reason. Most of the time you're going to leave this checked and leave the default setting. Once we've done with those things, we can click Save Changes. And that's it for this video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we want to go to the Settings area and we want to go to the Permalinks tab. Now the Permalinks tab by default is going to start with a plain setting, but you can change this setting based on what you're trying to accomplish with your site. Now if you're trying to accomplish SEO, typically most SEO experts recommend that you will put in here both the category and post name and that you do a custom structure or a post name. So what you'll be trying to do is you will be dictating what your permalink structure is based on your business model. And this basically means that whenever you post, this is the structure of your post as it's going to appear in the address bar. Once again, this is going to be very important as you determine how you're going to be using WordPress. Now, the last thing we want to point out to you is that you'll see here in the settings menu that there is an Akismet setting. Now, this Akismet link is based on the fact that we have a plugin that we've installed, and this is where you'll be changing the settings. And anytime that you install a plugin here, you'll want to change the settings first by looking to the settings area. Most of the time, the settings to a plugin will be available here. Other times, they'll be available in posts or pages. But this section, you'll always have the general, writing, reading, discussion, media, permalinks, and then any other settings that you have for plugins or anything else that you have installed and attached to your WordPress installation. Now in this video, we are going to look at uploading media and images to our WordPress site. Now you'll notice we are inside of the WordPress dashboard, and in order to upload images, we are going to go to the media section. When we get to the media section, what you'll notice is that there are no media files currently there. That's because our WordPress site is new. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click the Add New button. And you'll notice that WordPress will allow us to select files or to drag and drop them in there. So if you have images that you are going to be using in your WordPress site, whether or not you are blogging or whether or not you are using it as a website, you want to put those images here. They should be digital images, and as you can see, the maximum upload of the file size is going to be 2 megabytes. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to find an image and we are going to upload it. So we're going to click the Select Files button, and then we're going to go to our hard drive. For purposes of this tutorial, we're going to go inside of the sample pictures, and you're going to notice several pictures here. Now we're going to use all of these in our website in our example, so we're going to click the one at the very left, and we're going to literally hit the Shift button, and we're going to select all the images. Now we're then going to click Open, and you're going to notice that WordPress is going to start to upload these images into the site. And once you begin to click on some of the images, we'll get the opportunity to put in a title, to put in a caption, and we can always come back and use these images over and over and over in our website. So for example, we could say that this is our favorite flower. We'll write a description. And then we'll move on to the next image. And you'll notice that these images are auto-saving, so we can move on to the next one. When we have completed what we're going to work with in terms of these images, we'll click the X button. And then our images will actually be in our WordPress installation for us to use anytime that we like. You'll notice that we can also upload document files. I've uploaded a PDF. We can also load documents such as PowerPoint and Word documents. But the main use of your media section will be to upload images that you are going to use in your pages as well as in your posts. Now you don't have to upload all of these images before you actually start posting. You can actually wait until you start the post so that you can find the appropriate image from your hard drive when you actually are going to create some content. And we'll be talking about that in a later video. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.